Some stinging quotes made the rounds after last night's games. In case you missed them, there were three different harsh callouts. Let's start with the Oilers head coach Kris Knoblauch after Edmonton lost 4-1 to Tampa.
You know, we're a fragile group right now, and we just a little reluctant to play our game, and confidence is a little hard right now.
Ouch. Bruce, the coach, calling his players fragile. How do you think that sits with the Oiler players?
Well, if I'm an Oiler player, I'm feeling what he thinks we're soft. We're not ready to play. It's an easy way. I think he did a really good job of calling them out without really calling them out. Like every player that hears that quote, and the media is going to be coming after him, all the players saying, "What are you thinking about that quote?" And it was very calculated. I'll tell you right now, Gino, that when I was coaching, Chuck Fletcher or George McPhee or a good GM would come in after a game and whether we played good or bad and said, "What's your message to the media?" If I wanted to get to a player, they would say, "Okay, make sure you don't do this or don't do that." And I think his was very calculated, that he wanted the Oilers players to be upset and to say, "Hey," but without coming out and really getting mad at them visibly on the air. So, I think it had a really good message. I think you'll see a different Oiler team the next game they play.
So there was a plan. All right, next up, Luke Schenn after Nashville lost 4-1.
Nothing's easy, obviously. I don't think I've ever been a part of a group where you literally can't score goals.
Wow. Bruce, if you were the head coach and heard one of your players say that about his own team, what's your next move?
Well, I tell you what, I know Luke very well, and he's one of the greatest guys in the world. And I'm telling you, he's telling you, boys, if you want to score, you got to go to the tough areas. We got too many perimeter players here, and that's why we're not scoring. I'm not calling you afraid. I'm not calling you scared. But if you don't want to go to the tough areas, this is why we can't score. And let's not forget, they've got at least 5 forwards that have been at least 30 to 50 to 60 goal scorers on their team. So they're not going to the tough areas to score. That's why they're not scoring. And Luke called them out on it. And I think you'll see, whether it's the next practice or the next game, that the Oiler players will be going to the net. There's going to be a lot of skirmishes in front of the net. Not the Oilers, sorry. The Pred players are all going to be going to the front of the net. And there's going to be some skirmishes next game, because I think they all respect Luke to a point where, hey, he may be right. It's time to turn this around.
All right, our next harsh quote of the night, Seth Jones, who is clearly fed up after another Hawks loss.
I think we're the exact same team right now as we were at game 1. And I think it's pretty evident out there. We haven't made any strides to be a better, more simple hockey team.
It doesn't take much of a mind reader to figure out that Jones wants out. Who do you think Jones is directing his message to, Bruce?
Wow, that's about as simple a one as you can get. He's telling these guys, "I'm going to say stuff until you trade me. Get me out of here." Because he's calling out the coaches, he's calling out the management, he's calling out the whole organization, quite frankly. So he's just sitting there and saying, "This is not good enough. You guys aren't helping us. Get me out of here so I can go somewhere else and play."
3 struggling teams, 3 call-outs for change, and just a week left before the trade deadline. Going to be interesting to watch how things play out over the next few days.